Hello, Princess on a Pillow here. I am here to do a review slash recap and give my opinion on Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 2. It's titled P.O. Problems. I don't like that. It should be titled something like Release and Halfway House or something like that. Only one person had P.O. problems. So why is it even called that? That doesn't make any sense to me. All right, so the first couple we're going to talk about is Harry and Indy. Okay, we pick back up where we left off. Indy picked Harry up from the halfway house, and they are driving back to his sister Lydia's house. Indy tells Harry that she is ready to make the bees with the two backs, and she's pretty sure it's going to be good. Well, it should be good because he's been practicing. He cheated on her. He's been practicing, so it should be good, right? Anyway, he said he is starving, and Indy told him that his family cooked monfango. Monfango, I think, is some type of plantain with some gravy, and I don't know. The picture they showed of it didn't look good at all. And Harry said he doesn't know why they cooked monfango because he doesn't like that. Now either the family don't remember that he doesn't like monfango, or they just don't care that he doesn't like monfango. Anyway, Harry said he wants a chicken sandwich with fries. That poor thing. That's what happens when you kidnap people and rob them. You miss out of 4 years of your favorite foods. That's what happens. And Harry he's a character. Harry said his family did not support him while he was locked up, and they didn't come to see him. I guess as far as support means, he means they didn't give him money to put on the books so that he can buy candy from the commissary. But he said they didn't come to see him either, so maybe they were giving him that tough love. Anyway, he said since they didn't support him while he was locked up, they should give him what he wants to eat the first day home. And it's not monfango. Oh, Harry is one ungrateful SOB. His sister is allowing him to stay at her house until he gets on his feet with his girlfriend and her child. That's a big thing. She's letting 3 people stay at her house until they get on their feet. And he's so ungrateful. Anyway, he should have asked that female he slept with to get him a chicken sandwich. That's what I think. But Indy, she's being a good spiritual wife. She takes him to some drive-through, and he gets a chicken sandwich and fries. Yep. They asked me if he wanted bacon on it. He didn't know what? Bacon and chicken? I didn't know that. Yeah, I want that on there. They've been putting bacon on chicken for the longest. Where he been? Oh, he been in prison. But for 4 years? They've been doing that for forever. What are you talking about? Anyway. Harry's pretty scary. Harry said he has been getting in trouble since he was 5 years old. Why didn't they tear that little butt up? Why didn't they beat the crap out of him? Since he was 5 years old, he said he been burning things and hurting people. They should have beat the crap out of Harry at 5 years old. So Indy lets Harry drive. And I'm pretty sure Harry does not have a license. Or he's been in jail for 4 years. You think Harry has a license? What if the cops had pulled him over? But she let him drive, and he go buy burgers for his halfway house buddies and takes it to them. And by this time, the sisters and mother, they're home at Lydia's house waiting for him because they cooked and they're waiting to welcome him home. And he's riding around, going to fast food restaurants, buying burgers, buying chicken sandwiches, and delivering stuff to halfway house. And they're home waiting on him. So Lydia calls and she's pissed. She's like, what the hell? What's taking y'all so long? And he tells them that he's bought burgers to take to his friends at the halfway house. And the mother and the sister, they are pissed. They left. They're like, we're sitting here waiting on him. And I think they even had to go to work the next day. And they're sitting here waiting on this fool. And he's out gallivanting, delivering burgers to people. So it's 3 a.m. now, and they walk into the house. 3 a.m. He got out at 12 midnight, and it's now 3 a.m. And Indy and Harry walks into the house. And Lydia goes off on Harry. And I don't blame her. So Harry's pissed. He leaves the house. He's outside drinking from an open bottle. He's upset because he doesn't like the way Lydia is talking to him. Lydia can't believe he chose to go buy burgers for his friends instead of come home and be with his family. She says friends is what got him in trouble in the first place, and family is the one that's helping him put a roof over his head. And she's right. And for some reason, Harry feels closer to strangers than he does his own family. And Harry just got out of prison, and Harry's walking down the street drinking from an open bottle. He thinks he's invincible. That's what he thinks. So later on, he comes back to Lydia's house, and Indy asks him to go apologize to Lydia. And he said no. He said, I'm not apologizing to her. He refuses to apologize to his sister. He said, number one, I'm not wrong. And number two, I'm not wrong. Poor baby couldn't even think of a second reason that he shouldn't apologize. Anyway, he walks into the house right by Lydia and says nothing to her. And she's pissed because she says she's not putting up with that disrespect. So he goes into the bedroom, picks up Indy's daughter. Indy goes into the bedroom. She packs their stuff. And they leave out. They go to a hotel room. And before they get out of the car, Indy's bawling. She's crying. Well, Indy, that is what happens when you have an immature convict for a boyfriend. That's what happens. The next scene is Harry and Indy and the daughter. They're at a hotel, and it's the next day. And Indy basically tells us that they made the beast with the two backs in the bathroom. I guess they couldn't do it in front of the daughter, so they had to do it in the bathroom while the daughter slept in the bedroom. I don't know. And I guess all three of them slept in the bed. Anyway, Lydia calls, and she tells Harry that she had to rat him out because his PO officer called and asked if he was there, and she said, no, he ain't here. He didn't spend the night here. She had to rat him out. And she told him, she said, you better call your PO officer. So he calls his PO, and the PO said to Harry, you were supposed to call me between 8 and 10 today. Harry apologizes. He said he forgot. It slipped his mind. And the PO officer told the PO, I keep saying PO officer, parole officer. The PO told Harry that he needs to spend every single night at his sister's place, or they'll put him back in the halfway house. And the PO told him he's going to put an ankle bracelet on him, and he said he doesn't want him spending time with the pen pal he met while he was in prison. And I guess the pen pal is Indy. So he's telling him, I don't want you spending time with Indy. But he's living with Indy. So now he doesn't even seem upset that he can't live with Indy. And Indy can't believe that the PO has the authority to tell Harry who he can live with and who he can't live with. But Harry does not seem upset that he's not allowed to live with Indy. I guess, what's she going to do? I guess get an apartment or go back to Maryland. I don't know what she's going to do. We'll see. That's the end of them. Next is Taylor and Chance. Taylor said Chance called her and it's release day for him. She said she is nervous and excited. She said it was last minute. So the cameras are not even at her house. She's filming from her phone. So she gets to the prison at 9:24 a.m. and he's supposed to be released at 9:30 a.m. At around 10:07 a.m. she sees somebody walking in a hoodie, and she thinks it's him. She's honking her horn, she's waving at him, and He gets in the car and they're kissing and kissing and kissing and kissing, and he's all over her. He told her, if you don't give me some tongue, I'm getting out of this car. So I guess she gave him some tongue. So Chance told us that he went to jail for 8 years for bank robbery. He said he was high on Xanax. He said he was polite and flirty to the lady, and the next thing you know, he got the money. He said before that he got 7 or 8 felonies. And he listed all his crimes, but I really didn't care to rehash them. He said it was hard to stay out of trouble because of his drug addiction. And he lists all his favorite drugs, but I really don't care to list them either. Taylor is going to have this man living with her and her 3 little girls, 3 little innocent girls. She better be careful somebody don't call Child Protective Services on her. Because this man, all he knows is drugs and prison. He knows nothing else. He said Taylor is going to save him from taking drugs and committing crimes. So this 26-year-old woman who has 3 kids to raise is going to be taking care of this 41-year-old felon. Okay. More power to you, Taylor. So he shows her his tattoo he has of her on his side. And so Taylor apparently sat there with the car running, and now her battery is dead. So they had to get somebody to jump the car. And everybody seemed to be in a good mood. And the car got jumped and they were ready to go. And that's it for Chance and Taylor. Next we have Raedeen and Rick. Raedeen is on his motorcycle. He pulls up to a lingerie store. He meets his roommate, Ramona, there. And he has a list of things to buy for Raedeen. It's 1 day until her release. Rick said that Ramona is his roommate and his best friend. And Raedeen will be living with them once she's done with the halfway house. The owner of the store and Ramona are picking out clothes for Raedeen. And in the meantime, Raedeen calls Rick and he tells her he is at a lingerie store and she wants to make sure she wants to know if they have crotchless panties. And Rick tells her that those are not ideal for the halfway house. Raedeen did not seem happy when Rick told her that Ramona was shopping with him. Raedeen told Rick to be aware that her and Ramona may bump heads once they meet. And Rick doesn't see a problem with that. And I don't see a problem with it either, because when Raedeen is so much younger than Rick, when she gets out, she probably spend a couple of weeks with him, and then she's going to find somebody younger and better looking. I don't think she's going to stay with Rick. Anyway, the items they purchased for Raedeen came up to over $700. Ramona told him that's rent money. So he handed over his credit card. And that's what one-sided love do to you. It makes you spend up all your little money. Next scene, we see Rick. He's going over to Raedeen's father's house. He gets to her father's house, and the stepmother is there, and the father is in a wheelchair, and he's missing a leg. And they're sitting down talking, and Rick is so inappropriate. He tells the father about the lingerie he bought for his daughter. Why do you have to tell him about the lingerie? And the father is inappropriate too. He said that when they get older, when Rick and Raedeen get older, Rick will die, but Raedeen won't. So Rick will die first. Why did he say that? That's not true. People die. People don't have to be old to die. People die. They could be walking down the street and a car jump the curb and kill you. You could die in a car accident. We have all these natural disasters. We have earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, pandemics. People are dying before they get old. So what is he talking about? That he's going to be dead and she's going to be alive. That's so inappropriate. Anyway, Rick told the father that Ramona helped him shop for Raedeen. And the father said, "Who the hell is Ramona?" And Rick said, "My roommate." And the stepmother said she knew he had a roommate, but he never told them that the roommate was a woman. Anyway, the father mentioned that he was an addict for many years. The father is worried about Raedeen going back to her old habits when she gets out of prison. And then the father drops a bombshell on Rick. The father tells Rick that Raedeen is coming to his house after the halfway house. And Rick is shocked. Rick told the father that his address is on her parole paperwork. And the father said, while picking his nose, he said, "Well, she told me she was coming here to live." And the father informed us that this was not Raedeen's first time in jail. And he wants her at his house so that he will be able to keep an eye on her, so that she doesn't go down that same road again. So the next scene is Rick is back home and he's sweeping out the garage. And it's the day of Raedeen's release. He's hoping that after 60 days in the halfway house, she will be paroling to his house. And he tells Ramona comes out and was talking to him. And Rick says that the van is going to take Raedeen from the prison to the halfway house. And he is gonna go to the prison and watch her walk from the prison to the van. That sounds like stalkerish action to me. But he's gonna watch her walk out of the prison and get in the van. Then he's gonna follow the van all the way to the halfway house. And that's what happens with this one-sided love. You go crazy. You're following inmate vans, driving around behind them, following them, and spending up all your money. These one-sided loves, something else. And then Rick tells his roommate Ramona that Raedeen may go to her father's house instead of staying with them. And Ramona loves that idea. She don't want to live with a convict, and I don't blame her. Anyway, Ramona goes back into the house and Raedeen calls Rick. And she lets him know that due to a C-19 outbreak, there is a medical restriction and she's not getting released today. Rick is pissed. Rick looked like he was about to cry. He told them to turn the camera off. He got on his motorcycle and he rode off. And I hope he's not going to go find some medication. And I tell you what, Raedeen did not seem upset that she was not getting out. She seemed annoyed, but she didn't seem upset to me. I'd be bawling, crying, throwing a fit. She didn't seem too upset to me. Anyway, that's the end of them. Next is Kayla and Martell. I was about to say Montreal. It's Martell. We see Kayla. It looks like she is in Jackson, Mississippi at a bus station. And she's dressed like a lady of the evening. And at one point, she let us know that she wasn't wearing panties. And she said she has a secret to tell Martell. I think she cheated on him. I think she said that in the last episode that she cheated on him. He wanted her to wait 13 years for him to make the beast with the two backs. And she said that's ridiculous. She wasn't going to do that. So she hinted that she cheated last episode, and now she cleared it up. She cheated. So it's 11 a.m. and she's waiting for Martell. I don't want to call him Montreal. She's waiting for Martell to show up to be released. So it's around 1 p.m. She was out there from 11 a.m. It's now 1 p.m. and he arrives. And they hug and they kiss. And she says he smells good. And he has a lot of gold teeth in his mouth. And I don't like that. He said at age 20, he started in the drug trade and was incarcerated at the age of 24. He said he is from a pretty wealthy family. Where's his family? How come Kayla was the only one there to pick him up? Where's his family? He said he was pulled over for speeding because he is black. He said they found drugs and firearms. Anyway, he says he has 10 hours and 15 minutes to be at the halfway house. So they plan on going to a hotel to make the beast with the two backs. In her confessional, Kayla said the last time she was intimate with someone was 1 year and 8 months ago. Well, she kept track of that, didn't she? She said it made her better at sex, so he shouldn't be upset about it. So they get to the hotel room, and he lays on the bed. She puts on more makeup, and then they kick the cameraman out of the room. And that's the end of Kayla and Martell. Next up, Kevin and Tiffany. Kevin is having guys' night out with two fellas. It's 2 days until Tiffany's release. They are sitting around talking about Tiffany. His ex called and Kevin ignores the call. And I think he just loves the attention. He loves the attention from, what's her name, Kayla? Anyway, Kevin said Tiffany gained weight while in prison, but he is going to get her on the Kevin diet. And we know what that is. The next thing you know, Kevin's ex, Kayla, shows up. And one of his friends says, everywhere they go, she pops up. And I think everywhere they go, she pops up because Kevin tells her where he is. He wants her to pop up. It makes him feel good that she's stalking him. It does. But he's so transparent. Kevin, he throws out 2 reasons she could have known where they were. He says she knows the bartender. So I guess the bartender saw him and called her and tell her that he was there. Right. He said social media because he was posting on social media where he was. She saw that and that's how she knew where he was. Right. I think he didn't throw out the third option. Third option is you told her where you were going to be. So she showed up. Come on. Anyway, she claims she's meeting friends. Let's see if friends show up. Anyway, his friends left out and gave them some room to talk, some privacy to talk. She sits down there drinking and they're talking. And Kevin told her he wants to be her friend. She asked him if they are not going to make the beast with the two backs anymore. He didn't answer that. She tells us that they do this every Sunday. They make the beast with the two backs every Sunday. That's their ritual. She asked him if there's someone else. And he said not exactly. And he's not lying. Because he never really hooked up with Tiffany. He met her on Facebook, they talked, and next thing you know, she was in jail. So they're really not, they're kind of girlfriend and boyfriends, but they're not girlfriend and boyfriend. They never hug, kiss, touch, and have sex. They didn't do any of that and go out. So he says, not exactly. So she told him that she is always going to pop up until she gets the answer she wants. And they say a whole bunch of things back and forth to each other. And then she starts to cuss him out. And he gets up and walks away. Next scene, we see Kevin. He gets up out of bed. He calls the prison. It's like 8:22 in the morning. And it's the day Tiffany's supposed to be released. So he calls the prison to find out what time do they usually release prisoners. And they said 9 to 9:30. So he gets dressed and he goes to the prison. On the way to the prison, he calls to see what time Tiffany will be getting out of prison. So when he calls, they told him that she will not be released today. They changed her release date. And Kevin found out that Tiffany's release date changed due to I can't say this word. Disciplinary. I guess she did something bad. She must have done something really, really bad. So he checks the prison website and it says, not scheduled for release at this time. That's her status. It says to be determined 4/14/2025. Wow, 3 years from now. What did she do for them to push to add 3 more years to her sentence? What did she kill somebody in that jail? What did she do for them to do that? But I don't think they did it because I saw the previews and it looked like he was picking her up. So I don't know why it said to be determined. Maybe somebody made an error. Maybe that meant 2022 and they put 2025 because maybe that meant April of this year instead of 2025 because I saw the previews and it looked like he was picking her up. I don't know. Well, thank goodness he still has that crazy Kayla, right? He didn't totally get rid of her. And that's the end of my review. I will be back next week with another one. Thank you so much for watching. Princess on a Pillow here. Bye.